What's up, friends, and welcome into Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off. I'm Chris Welsh. That is Joe Arrico. There is no Pepiot today. Pepiot might be like under right now. We don't even know. We don't know what's going on. Well, we kind of know what's going on as a scopey scope, but we don't know the exacts of it. Joe will be back tomorrow, but we have our replacement Joe, and he's not really a replacement. He's just a fantastic Joe. Mr. Arrico, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I got the call from the manager last night. Needed me to step up for a little bit of a bullpen game today. So happy to do it. Happy to step in for Joe. Hope he's doing all right because I'm sure he's not having fun right now.
No, probably not fun drinking whatever you have to drink prior to a thing that men in their mid 40s must do. It would have been a really great. There's a really great sponsorship opportunity that was missed in this entire thing. Whatever it could have been, maybe we could have followed along with Joe, but next time sales, they can work on that. We got a lot in the show today. It's kind of a small, short slate, as I guess Thursdays have been in general. There's some early games. By the time we get to the end of the show, a couple of the games are going to start. So we've got some best bets for you. We've got stuff across the board. So let's start our breakdown, and shout out to all of our Peanuts and Cracker Jacks that are hanging out. You guys are welcome to drop questions where we can yap with you guys and answer your questions. And a reminder, anybody watching after the fact on YouTube or listening on the podcast, you can always join us on Twitch live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/Fantasy Pros. That's right. Me and Joey come and catch live, whether it's this Joey or the other Joey, 12 p.m. Eastern. We got a bunch of other great offerings. Catch it live, interact, get your questions answered, and do it today. Otherwise, you're good on all the other platforms. All right, let's get into the stuff and the things and some big dogs we're eating. Joe went with Aaron Judge, Mr. Pepiot Joe, Aaron Judge yesterday. I went with Shohei Ohtani, both in the home run contest, and they both homered. They're both back into it. Judge ended up going 2 for 4, hitting his that ended up getting the win on the Mets. And Shohei Ohtani had a leadoff homer, 2 for 4 against the A's, his 13th of the year. So probably nobody got any extra room on the table here in the home run contest as the big dogs were going. I do have a question in the Yankee game I want to hit to you, Arrico. This is not going to be related to the big guys. Just want to remind everybody that the big dogs did eat. Luke Weaver struck out the side in the 9th, got a save against the Mariners, and I believe it was maybe his I'm trying to remember what it was. It wasn't his 9th save, but he's had a multitude of saves. Devin Williams still kind of a mess. My question to you is, with Luke Weaver, is he going to give up the closer role? Because he has been good and he's locking it down. Do you think Devin Williams is going to regain this now with what you're seeing out of Luke Weaver?
I think it would be a disaster for the Yankees if Williams doesn't end up back in the closer role at some point. We're still tying. The thing with relievers is that we're always dealing with relatively small sample sizes. Yeah, Devin Williams has not been good to this point of the season, but it's 14 innings. I feel like I'm not sure when it'll happen exactly, but at some point, Devin Williams is going to have this job back, I think. I'm not sure when or how exactly it'll happen, but if you see Williams sitting on any waiver wires, if anybody's dropped him, I would personally pick him up everywhere.
I agree with that. I kind of said I thought that Luke Weaver might end up being the guy that holds us longer than people think, and it would be like a month or two, but I would pick up Devin Williams. But I would like to point out Luke Weaver has a 0.45 ERA. I believe it was like after he got the gig, he had been like scathed a tiny bit, but he has 4 saves now. He has a higher whip than ERA, which is crazy. 0.6 whip. He has just been relatively unhittable. He's given up 1 earned run all season long. And that was, I think, right around when he ended up taking the gig over. It was like a little over, it was about 10 days ago, it looks like. But he has picked up 2 saves since the beginning of May. So I guess it's not like, he's been locking down a million. It's just right here, Vanrod, he's a dog. He's a dog. And I do think they're going to want to give Devin Williams the opportunity back. But it's just like, how much, or maybe are you willing to be aggressive on a guy like Luke Weaver, or even buy? Because I would think owners would be like, oh, he's going to lose that job pretty soon, trade him off. But if he were to keep that role the rest of the year, look out. Luke Weaver would be absolutely rolling. In the big SP market, Tarik Skubal recorded 11 strikeouts, season high 5 runs over 6 1/3 of an inning on Wednesday, and a no decision in a big strikeout game, but giving up some runs. In that same game, Alex Bregman 3 for 4, hit his 11th home run of the season. If Aaron Judge was not in the AL would we be talking much more loudly about Alex Bregman for MVP? And do you think he is one of the best returns on top 100 draft capital? In some cases, he was going outside the top 100. Like, do you think it's one of the best returns, and do you buy it the rest of the season? So I asked you 300 different questions.
I buy it to a certain degree. The MVP thing is interesting. Like, if you look just from a fantasy point of view, Judge has been the most valuable American League player, and Bregman is number 2, a $30 player in 12-team leagues for those auction folks out there. Will he keep it up to this extent? Probably not, but I could see him finishing within the 25 to 30 homer range, runs and RBIs, both pushing 100. I saw an article yesterday that talked about how he has his own hitting coach that found something that he was doing with the Astros the last couple of seasons. It was something small that you wouldn't even really notice if you're watching just to the layman's eye, that they kind of tweaked with him, and it seems to have worked so far this season. So I think that he's not going to be a first-round player, because right now he's the number 7 player for the season. But can he be a top 50 player, top 40 player? I think absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. There's a part of me. I talked about this a while ago that I think like a dark horse betting might have been Bregman an MVP, but he's also one of those guys I wanted to, get my shares of. Looking at his swing, the only thing I'm noticing is he's opened his stance up more than he has really in quite a few years. There's really nothing else in there. And then as far as like some of the analytics and bat tracking, he's squaring the ball up better, but he's not getting to it faster. He's not swinging it faster, not swing length. It's the ballpark. The ballpark has helped as well. Funny, the metric baseball savant has where you can have like, if a guy played all his games in a certain ballpark, sometimes that'll show you like, oh, what's the benefit here? It's actually Boston is actually a little bit of a negative. Like he would have 13 projected homers in Baltimore if he played all his games there, while only having 9 in Boston. Yet he has been absolutely striking the ball, barreling it better than he's ever done in his career, 11.5%. Best hard hit percentage of his career, under 20% Ks. He's walking. He has a 19-degree launch angle, which is like right at the tippy top of where he's ever been in his career. The ballpark is helping. He seems to be locked in. I actually think if there's someone out there that doesn't believe that he's performing as one of the top third basemen and wants to sell out high, I think there's maybe a buying opportunity, because I think this can stick. I don't know he's going to hit 314, but I think he could still hit 290, maybe be a 100 guy, close to 30 homers. Like I think it's a revival here. So I guess I'm a little bit more buy-in of Alex Bregman than you. Why do you hate Alex Bregman?
No, I like him a lot. If somebody's valuing him as a first rounder, if somebody's willing to trade you another first round caliber player for him, then you should probably listen to it.
Okay,
But
I got one for you.
But I still think he's a great asset. Probably the best outside of PCA, probably the best return on investment to this point of the season.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, probably. He's probably, in the top 3 or 4 for sure. Who would you rather have rest of season, Alex Bregman or Julio Rodriguez?
Oh, man.
Julio Rodriguez is hitting, I think, around 220 right now, and expected batting average around 250. He does steal more bases, but who would you rather have?
I think I would probably go with Bregman, but that one's pretty close, because Julio, the batting average hasn't been great, but still 7 homers, 5 steals. He hasn't been bad at all. But I think it'd be Bregman by a hair.
I would like to know. What do you guys think? Who would you rather have rest of season? Alex Bregman, Julio Rodriguez. That's kind of a fun one. What in the hell is going on with Patrick Corbin? Patrick Corbin struck out 9 in 6 innings. He did allow 3 earned runs. This is, a Rockies, I guess, narrative that you can put out there. But what is going on with Patrick Corbin? I've loosely said, kind of maybe in like a Javier Baez type of way, where it's like, listen, this version, no, I don't buy or anything like that. But there do seem to be concerted changes. The team context is working. And like, he's at least streamable, and you need to pay attention to him streaming in bad matchups. There you go. He got, I think that's a quality. What did I just say? I got to look back at the stats. Did he go 6? Yeah, he went 6. That's a quality start he had with 9 strikeouts against Colorado. The profile looks okay. But my question is are you going to buy into Patrick Corbin rest of season?
I can't do it. I personally can't do it. Like he's been good, no question. If you've had him for the last several games, he's done very well. But It's Patrick Corbin at the end of the day. I feel like this is a situation where right when people are going to start to believe and start opening up the fab wallets and the waiver priorities, that's when he's going to let you down. And there's still some things that I don't love here. Like he has a 3.35 ERA. He's outperforming that though. I mean, if you look at the Sierra 4.52, the FIPS are all in the mid fours. He's not striking guys out. He hasn't been a big strikeout guy in a while, but 18%. He's a 130 whip. I think this is a situation where right when you start to trust him, which is probably right about now, people are going to get burned by him. So I think you just stay away. It's Patrick Corbin at the end of the day.
Yeah, let me phrase it a little bit differently then, because I guess if I came across as like, hey guys, Patrick Corbin is it. He's him. Is Patrick Corbin a serviceable streamer? Is maybe more the question. That's, I think, more of what I meant by this. Like, are you willing to find some matchups here? Maybe you target teams that are struggling against lefties a little bit. You're looking for quality starts. You're looking for wins. Is Patrick Corbin someone that you're going to give a consideration to?
For a situation like yesterday, absolutely, no problem. Like playing the Rockies for that kind of matchup, I don't mind it. But I mean, if we're trusting him outside of a bottom 5 or 7 team, I think that's where you start to get hurt. Like we were talking about Ryan Weathers yesterday against the Cubs. And that's an extreme example because the Cubs have been a really good offense, but I'm just trying to see who he is slated to face in his next start. It looks like it'll be the Yankees early next week. So
no, thanks.
I don't think so. I don't think I can do it.
What would be, do you happen to see what would be the one after that? Like a rough guesstimate of like who they'd be playing.
Yankees.
Well, while you look, speaking of Ryan Weathers, by the way, he had 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts over 5 innings against the Cubs. So hat tip, we were like, don't want to start him on this one. Maybe the next one. He was actually pretty efficient. Ryan Weathers was. Did we see it?
So yeah, it looks like so that Yankees one early next week is a stay away, but it looks like he would get the White Sox next weekend. So maybe you hold him and sit him for that first one. Now, if it's a weekly league, you'd have to eat both of them. Would you be willing to do that? Because if you're setting a weekly lineup, would you eat the Yankee start to get the White Sox one?
It'd be dependent. Like Patrick Corbin over like who other ones start. There's probably, well, I was about to say there's 40 or 50 other, probably one starts I'd rather have, except if you just focus on that White Sox one, like that's pretty. You would really like that. But yeah, the Yankees, again, it's just about serviceability. Someone said I don't want to get into the Corbin verse. I don't really either, but he just continues to just kind of be good. Would you rather have Ryan Weathers or Patrick Corbin?
Ryan Weathers, no question for me.
Ryan Weathers is back. We don't know when and what version you're going to get of Spencer Strider when he's back, because apparently he experienced some diminished velocity in a simulated game he threw 65 pitches. He had started off around 96, but then he dipped into the 93, 94 range. That's a problem. Last month he was averaging around 95. Reports on like Roto World saying the club is expected to decide later this week whether he's going to require another minor league rehab start or be activated to start next week against the Nationals. I think based on the velocity dip, unless this is something that they were completely comfortable with and knew about, I think he's going to another rehab start because that type of velo dip is a concern. Again, unless they had it planned for him to not go full out. But why would you have a 65 pitch simulated game for that? That is worrisome velo dip for him. Because not only, by the way, if he averaged last month 95, he starts 96. He's a high velo guy in general. So like 93, 94 sitting, especially when you're more of a primary 2-pitch pitcher, that's a bit of concern. What is your level of concern with Spencer Strider moving through the rest of the season? Because he's going to be back. Everyone's going to get excited. But knowing that you've now had 2 injuries throughout the year, some diminished velo sitting out there, what's your level of concern of like, do you want to get out from under him once he's activated? Do you want to buy? Where are you at?
I think I'd be more in the sell camp once you see the report of Spencer Strider is starting on Thursday or whatever day it'll be. That'll be potentially when he has the most value rest of season. I worry about that velocity. We were doing the Discord show when he made that debut, and we were kind of following along, and he wasn't able to maintain his velocity throughout that start. If you look year by year, every season he's lost a tick. 2022, 98, down to 97, 96, 95. If he's sitting in 93, 94, that's a serious red flag. If you're able to trade Strider based on that name value for a top 25, top 30 starting pitcher, or maybe top 100 player overall, something like that, I think it would be wise to consider it. I'm not sure what we're going to see out of him this year. And if we do get him back, even if it's going to be soon, I'm not sure what the results are going to be like. So I'm worried. I'm definitely worried.
I'm too. I'm pretty concerned about that. Like, I do think he's the type of guy that can bounce back from this, but yeah, he's having like already these leg issues and the velo, and unless they give us any information about it, obviously, if he were to bounce back to be the version that we know, this is a great buying opportunity because of the fear. But to already have like some of the down velo, I don't know what that's going to look like for Strider, especially again because he's a primary like fastball slider guy. Like that's what he does. It's not like we can go to some other offerings. I mean, to be fair, even if you have other offerings, like Zach Gallen's a disaster. When his fastball velo has gone down and down, and then when he loses command on it, he can't even go to the other stuff. And it's been, I mean, he's obviously had some good starts, but like it's not the same version. What's Strider going to do? Because then you're going to have Strider trying to lean more on the slider, and then all you're going to have is guys waiting on the fastball. And if you're cranking it at 91, bam, they're going to put that bad boy out. A couple rookie lookies, and then when I get to some of the listeners, some of the peanuts and cracker jacks out here, of course. Rookie lookie, Simeon Woods Richardson was optioned. So this means we are on David Festa or Zebby Matthews watch. I haven't seen if there was a corresponding move. It could have happened just now when we started the show. It might happen here shortly. I will say David Festa has had a couple really great starts, 14 strikeouts over his last 2. He has had no walks, and he's gone relatively deep. I think it was 5 2/3 in 6 innings, and he's been unhittable. So is Zebby, but Festa was the guy before. I'm going to say I think this is going to be a David Festa move, and I would go and pick up David Festa right now because I think he floats in that line of like, I don't want to call it must pick up, but like I would probably dump like a Patrick Corbin like we're talking about. Because he's a streamer and hold on to Festa. But don't you dare ask me David Festa or Bubba Chandler. I'm not accepting that. But Arico, are you running to the wire to speculatively pick up a David Festa right now?
Yeah, I'm coming into the season. I was a huge fan of Festa. I've been kind of disappointed with the way that the Twins have used their entire rotation to start the season. Like, of course, Chris Paddock has actually been looking pretty decent recently. Like, I thought Paddock and Simeon Woods Richardson would be gone pretty early for Matthews and for Festa. Now, I don't know if they're going to go with Festa. I think they probably will, but when they had him up before, he was only going 4 innings, 4 2/3 every time out. Now, his pitches were I was following this closely. He was going in the 60s for pitches and then up to the 70s, up to the 80s, and then they sent him down. I think it's Festa, but be on the lookout for Zebby as well, because I think Zebby has earned his chance. He has a deeper arsenal than Festa. I think that long-term Matthews is probably the better target, but for right now, it probably will be Festa, but I'm not 100% sure which way they're going to go here.
So someone put this in here as a note, and I think this is important to see. Cody Funderburg is being kept on the roster, but it's a pretty clerical move in that like you have 3 or 4 days to wait for a rotation piece. So I think you will see them bring up David Festa in like 2 or 3 days, whatever it lines up on the rotation side for Simeon Woods. So I think that's where we're going to go for us. So Festivus for the rest of us. That is who I'm speculating on. You'd love to see Zebby, but there's only so much room for these guys to do that. And Dalton Rushing was called up. This happened, I believe, after the show yesterday. Really, really interesting move as a catcher outfielder. I assume with Austin Barnes going out, he's going to be playing part of that catcher role. He can maybe be a Henry Davis for this team, a good team where he can go out into the outfield. His bat's live, but they also let him not play the first game. So I'm treating Dalton Rushing like I would be treating Jordan Lawlar. If you've got expendable stuff to pick him up, I think that's cool. But you're probably looking at a guy that's going to go 4 to 5 days. They're not going to sit him too much. He's going to get some games. He's going to be at the bottom of the lineup. His bat definitely is live. It's really great for pull-sided right-handed hitters in LA. So like offensively, I love Dalton Rushing. But I think both of those guys, you got to have a stronger stomach for, and I would treat him just like Lawlar. I would want Lawlar a little bit more. Any other take on Dalton Rushing?
Yeah, there was a quote last night from Dave Roberts. He said that Rushing will start today. He said tomorrow, but he's talking about today. So Rushing will be in the lineup today. but he will be the backup catcher and a left-handed hitter off the bench, and he will not play the outfield, according to Dave Roberts. So I think that kills his value a little bit, even in 2-catcher leagues.
Oh, it kills it even more. Yeah.
If he's only going to play 2 or 3 days a week, I think it's going to be tough unless there's an injury there that opens something up. For right now, I think it would have to be a really deep 2-catcher league. I would definitely take Lawlar.
I didn't even see that, but I kind of don't believe that that's going to, if you're going to keep him on the roster for long term, I don't believe that's the case. Good question from me. Moises Ballesteros or Dalton Rushing? Which one do you want?
Yesterday, I had Rushing ahead of Ballesteros, but after seeing that quote, I think I would probably lean more to Ballesteros.
Yeah, I agree with you because they're working out Michael Busch at third base, and that would create more of an opportunity long-term for Ballesteros. If you're not going to play Rushing in the outfield at all, then I think that that hurts a little bit of the value. Before we get with all of our friends and hang out and get some questions answered and everything, you guys know what time it is because you train hard. You show up, but lately something feels off. Fatigue lingers, recovery takes longer, and your performance is just not what it quite used to be. There might be signs, and these might be signs of low testosterone, a condition affecting about 30% of adult men in America, and Kysotrex is an FDA-approved testosterone replacement therapy designed for men just like you. It's not an injection, it's not a gel, it's a twice-daily pill that fits seamlessly into your active lifestyle, helping restore your testosterone to optimal levels. Know your T-score and get tested now by visiting Kysotrex.com/testing-kit. That's Kysotrex.com/testing-kit. By prescription only, Kysotrex is a controlled substance and it can be a target of abuse. Kysotrex is not for use in pregnant women or men with prostate or breast cancer. Safety and efficacy in those younger than 18 is not known. Tell your doctor about medical conditions and medications. Joe, are you aware that there are side effects?
Oh, I am.
I'm going to tell you about them, even if you weren't. Serious side effects could include increased blood pressure, like I'm getting from reading this really fast, worsening prostate symptoms, increased risk of prostate cancer. Joe's getting this taken care of. Blood clots in the legs or lungs, decreased sperm count, liver problems, enlarged or painful breasts, and breathing problems while you sleep. And common side effects include swelling of the ankles, feet, or body, increased red blood cell count, and increase in prostate-specific antigens or PSA levels. PSA is a test used to detect prostate cancer. Report these symptoms to your doctor. Call your doctor to learn more about Kysotrex. For questions or more information, visit Kysotrex.com or call 1-833-949-5040. That is Kysotrex. Do it today. Okay. Take a breath. We can go. I was really trying to get through that. Let's see what the dude's got. Let's check out the homies here. I picked up Lawlar. This is from Pancake. I picked up Lawlar last week, dropping Kurtz, and now it seems like Lawlar is platooning. Is Lawlar expected to have a bigger role, or should I drop to bring Kurtz back? I would drop to bring Kurtz back, and guess what? I would not have made that move because everybody on this show keeps talking about how we don't like Nick Kurtz, but he finally hit that homer. He's hitting 280. Profile looks good. Lawlar is a little bit capped here, though the injuries are something maybe floating out there, but I'm that might have some future more value for Lawlar, but I'm a Kurtz guy over Lawlar. What say you?
Yeah, was there something about Marte? Did Marte get hurt?
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Well, we're talking about it in the injury. Well, I mean, I'll just mention it now. That Marte was lifted from the game. He requested to be lifted from the game because he was feeling some body soreness. They said he's going to be back in the lineup on Friday. Okay. I tell you, as a Diamondback fan and watching, you can tell that there's something slightly off with Marte. Not as bad at all, by the way. He is, 2 homers yesterday. He's going, but he's had to be lifted. There's some injury problems. And then Lawlar came in. That could be something that creates some future value. Now, if Marte were to miss more time, Lawlar would be even more exciting, but I'm Kurtz over him right now.
I still am Kurtz. I just thought I'd heard something, and I figured you'd know better as the Diamondbacks guy.
Yeah. Finner dropped some, I think some channel points, but there are a lot of cool little features. We have someone in here earlier was like, I don't know how to, connect. You can connect your Amazon Prime account to get a free sub with us on our Twitch. We're over 100, which we really appreciate you guys. It gets rid of those god awful ads that you have to deal with, and it's free. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, do it for free, but you can also use like channel points, and there's bits, there's all this other crazy stuff you can do. But Finner used some points here. Someone dropped Vinny P in a 12-team points league. Would you drop Michael Busch for him?
Yeah, especially in a points league, I would. I would
too. Yeah, that's like a no doubter for me. The big dance, Nola or Alcantara rest of season. We're going to talk about Nola here in a little bit, but Nola got shellackied yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's probably Nola, but I'm pretty down on both of them.
It's Nola right now, but yeah, well said. Logan, Henderson, or Pepiot or Pepitio, Pepiito,
Pepito.
Pepito.
Um,
Rest of
I
season.
probably Pepiot still, but I really like Logan Henderson. I've been a big Pepiot guy going back to for a couple years now, but Henderson's looked great. I think they both are well worth being on all rosters, but I would lean Pepiot.
What about Henderson versus Woodruff?
I'd take Henderson. I don't have much of an expectation for Woodruff this year.
Oh, really? You're kind of out?
I think just when you're looking at a couple years of layoffs and that they've pushed him back, he's had a couple of problems during the rehab. I don't think we're going to see much from him.
I'd probably say Woodruff on that one, but if Logan Henderson does stay in the rotation for a while, then I'm just not completely convinced. They're like a disastrous mess. Like we know that there's clearly a spot open, but like Henderson at this moment would probably be the likely player to go away with Woodruff coming back. So that's why I would
Potentially,
I would probably pick him. Let's see. What else do we have here? What do you guys think about trading away Pete Fairbanks for Jung-Hoo Lee? Yes.
Especially given all the closers you have. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Who else has got in here? Let's look. I got multiple questions in here. Written by Zach. What's the best I can get for Tanner Bibee? 12-team points league. I was offered Roki for Bibee a few days ago. Ooh, going to talk about Roki as well. I don't really want Roki. I'd rather hold on to Bibee than pick up Roki right now, if that says enough. Yeah. What can you get? I'm not really 100% sure. Like probably if you're trying to go SP for SP, I think it's going to be weird. You are going to have to buy a massive underperformer like a Sandy Alcantara, or you're going to have to buy into a pitcher that is overperforming that you think can hold it. Like, I don't think you can get even Casey Mize, but maybe like a Casey Mize, excuse me. What say you, Joe?
Yeah, just looking at his game log, it's really just two really bad starts that are destroying his whole line. 6 earned runs against Baltimore, 7 against the Angels. But other than that, he hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in any start. The command has been a bit iffy, some 3 and 4 walk performances, but it seems like he has really figured things out over the last 3 starts, 7 innings and 2 of them. I think that Bibee is somebody that you should just be holding probably, unless you are getting back something close to what you paid on draft day. I think that people are going to look at the overall numbers and not be as impressed as, well, they're not that impressive right now, but I do think that over time he's going to pick it up. And if you're trading him, I think you're probably making a mistake right now.
Ad Toxic, our boy, ended up using, these are some bits, I think, using bits for the questions. They're kind of like pseudo super chats people can do. You get top of the line when you do this stuff. Hey guys, I'm in need of pitching and I would need to drop 2 guys soon with Jordan, Trout, and Acuna coming off the IL. Oh, just makes me so happy to hear the Acuna stuff. I'm willing to trade Perdomo, Trout, and Dylan Moore for pitching. Who would be good to go after? Those are with the cheers. So I don't think Trout makes any. That's weird. If you're just saying like you want to trade those guys, what could you get? I mean,
packaged all together, you could probably do pretty well if you packaged them all together. But
okay, Casey Mize again came to mind. Maybe you get like Casey Mize. I don't know if you can get 2 pitchers for that. If someone would want to trade 2 pitchers for 3 hitters like that, you might be better set. Okay, so let's just use the world of Casey Mize as an example. But here's a guy I would really try to target if I could. It's like Mackenzie Gore. But you need Trout to be healthier. If Perdomo and Trout to get like Gore and something tiny, I think could work. But you might have to take off one of those hitters, add some low pitcher, and then maybe you can get, 2 pitchers back. Mackenzie Gore would be a target of what I would probably be trying to push for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what about like Chris Bubich, like Perdomo for Bubich or something like that? Like if you're in need of pitching, a couple of guys who've both been off to really good starts. Maybe people value Bubich a little bit higher, but like Perdomo.
You said Perdomo for Bubich?
Perdomo and maybe even Dylan Moore, throw him in there because I don't really buy into
like that
more long term, something like that.
I like that a lot, actually, if we can get there 100%. Van Rod dropping the bits here. If Kershaw does well, is it worth dropping Cade Horton? And by the way, we also have to shout out Van Rod because Van Rod, 5 gifted subs. And I believe Van Rod is now the month leader, the biggest G in the chat. Van Rod dropping those gifted subs, something people can do. And if you are following our Twitch channel, when people gift out subs, you could just be gifted this awesome thing without having to sub yourself. So appreciate that. Closing in on 900 followers. So make sure you follow, and people like Van Rod might hook you up. So what do you think? If Kershaw is good in this start, Are you going to dump off of Cade Horton?
I feel like I probably would. Horton's first appearance was in relief, if I'm not mistaken. It was like a bulk relief role. It's close, but I think I would go with the experience with Kershaw.
Okay. I think if Kershaw doesn't give up a bunch of hard hit contact, I'm kind of interested in him keeping around, especially with the team context. I am worried it's not going to go so well. So that would be more of my problem. We got more questions and we got more people that have used some of the bits and stuff, and we will get back to you guys. If I can find this comment, we'll just do this in just a tiny bit. Let's move through the sheet a little bit more here. On the three, where are we at? 3 up and 3 down. Cedric Mullins, 4th career grand slam in the second game of Wednesday's doubleheader against the Twins. He has been not hitting for average, but man, he makes it count. Rhys freaking Hoskins. We talked about this in the stream yesterday. Rico was with me. YouTube on Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Eastern. We're there. Rhys Hoskins, 4 for 4 with a homer, a double, 5 RBI, and he has been powering up his offense. I know we did it yesterday, but maybe just as another quick shout, are you buying back in? Is Rhys Hoskins going to press the top 10 first baseman? Who would you rather have, Vinny Pasquantino or Rhys Hoskins the rest of the year?
That's a really good question. I would probably go with Hoskins, but I could see going either way. I think it's fairly close. Hoskins is more if you're just looking for straight power, where I think Vinny P hasn't to this point, but I think is more likely to help you in the batting average department. Hoskins is kind of just doing what he always does. Last season, the batting average falling kind of put people out on him in draft season. He was very cheap, but for his whole career, he's been a 25 to 35 homer guy with a 120-ish WRC plus, and we're seeing that again. The barrel rates are intact, the hard hit rates there, the launch angle's good. Everything is solid for Rhys Hoskins. Now, the lineup around him isn't amazing. He's scored 12 runs in 41 games, but I still think that he is a really good asset. Can he be a top 10 first baseman? To this point of the season, he's 15th. I could see him getting there because some guys in the top 10, Wilmer Flores, I don't know if he's going to stick around. Soderstrom may or may not stick in that top 10. I could see it with Hoskins. I could definitely see it. Top 12 for sure, like a worthy of rostering in all 12 team leagues, I think.
I think so too. It looks like vintage Rhys Hoskins, which is the really important thing on a really good offensive side. So I'm with that. And I think I would take Hoskins over Vinny right now as well. Also a guy that, we've had a lot of questions for, and is it real? It's a version of real. Kyle Stowers, 2 homers yesterday, 2 for 4, just continues to hit at the top of the lineup and be really good. There's probably some great questions out here you guys could ask. I'm going to throw this one to you just real quick, and then we got to keep burning. Kyle Stowers or Jason Dominguez rest of season?
I probably still have to go with Dominguez. I think my gut would have to go that way. Now, statistically, Stowers has been really good. Dominguez hasn't been terrible, though. Like, Jason Dominguez, to this point of the season, has a 116 WRC plus, 240 batting average, 5 homers, 3 steals. Like, it hasn't been that terrible. I know that 3 homer game certainly helped the overall line, but I think I just trust him more in that ballpark with that lineup around him than I do Stowers.
That's how it works.
But also,
all right.
one last thing I was going to say, like, how bad does that trade look? How bad does that Stowers and Norby trade look right now for Trevor Rogers? Oh, my God.
Awful. Yeah, Trevor Rogers is the literal nothing. I gotta be honest, as a Dominguez guy, I actually might go with Stowers because of that profile. And I love Jason Dominguez, but Stowers just continues to hit and is going to be in a prominent part of the lineup. On the downs, Aaron Nola absolutely obliterated, 9 runs, 12 hits in 3 3/3, or 3 1/3 against the Cardinals. And on the other side, Sonny Gray wasn't much better. He gave up 7 runs in 3 2/3, both of them blah. And I mentioned Simeon Woods Richardson. He was hit up for 6 runs by the Orioles and then sent down. He gone. On some injuries, real quick, Roki Sasaki told reporters Wednesday that he pitched through shoulder discomfort during his last few starts, something similar-ish to Japan. The biggest and baddest piece of the news, there's no real timeline right now of what this is going to look like, how long this is going to take. There's also rumors of, as this gets better, they might kind of rework his like release. I don't know if it's like his release point or his delivery. This could be months. I'm not saying it is because we just don't know because no one's giving us information, but I'm also telling you it might be a month. We might not see him until June between the injury and some of the reworking. Is Roki Sasaki a drop in fantasy for you?
Yeah, He is. And it's brutal because I know I was pretty aggressive on him in the preseason. You guys were right. You, Kelly, Welsh, Mayor, everybody was right. I was wrong. I ranked him too high, and I'm taking that L. Big time taking that L. I think if you have unlimited IL space, sure, hold them. But most people are dealing with 3 or 4 spots. I think we're probably all filled up for most of our leagues at this point. We're probably filled up in the first week of April. I don't think you can afford to hold them in most cases.
Say it one more time.
Christopher Welsh was right, and Joe Rico was wrong.
Man, it feels good. It would be much better if that was coming from Pizapia, but it feels pretty good. Other injuries. Ketel Marte, as I mentioned, was removed from the game. He had some hip tightness. He says he's planning to play Friday. Just keep an eye on it. Blake Snell resumed throwing on Wednesday, so there's a good piece of Dodger news, I suppose. Josh Lowe went 2 for 4 with a solo homer on Wednesday in a minor league rehab assignment in AAA. He should be coming back very, very soon, so make sure that you get that right. Red Sox placed Tanner Houck on the 15-day IL with being a horrible pitcher. I don't even know what the injury is. Just right flexor giving up homers and all the runs. He sucks. Red Sox manager Alex Cora also had mentioned that Walker Buehler is likely to return Tuesday. So that'll be the guy to take that spot. Parker Meadows said Wednesday is getting close to a minor league rehab assignment. If you guys want to start picking up, maybe preemptively making moves, that would be nice. And Ben Joyce will not get saves this year in favor of Kenley Jansen because he is out for the season. He had right shoulder surgery. So bye-bye. There unfortunately is going to be no Ben Joyce. But what you guys can have is some awesome prizes, because if you guys make sure just to comment on this, if you interact at the end of the day on the, this is on the YouTube side. So the live people, you're gonna have to do a little bit of extra work. But if you go and comment on any of the videos we dropped this month and make sure you're subscribed, you've got a chance to win a Jose Ramirez signed Guardians jersey for free, courtesy of our friends over at pristineauction.com. And when I say any video, it could be this one. I mean, if you're here listening to me say this, like, don't do extra work. Just make a comment under here. Oh, I love Welsh. Welsh was right. Joe was wrong. Or whatever you want. I'm not trying to tell you what to say, but you can say anything. Subscribe to the channel, and you will be entered. And then make sure to turn on notifications, because we got lots of great videos. You don't want to miss that. And when we announce who the actual winner is going to be, we want to hear from you. We will do a few more of the listener questions here. But first, let's talk about our best bets
of the day.
There you go. We got some bets for the day here. Let's jump into them. Joe, I will let you kick it off. What are your bets on a weird slate today? Because there's like early games that are literally going to start in 2 minutes. There's a couple afternoon ones. I tried to keep rolling with the afternoon, but did the best I can. What do you got?
Yeah, I was trying to be as good as I could to the listeners, especially those who will listen on the podcast side, because a lot of the games are starting like literally right now. So there's only 3 games this evening. Tried to target those ones. First off, Jacob deGrom, over 6.5 strikeouts. He just put up 10 in 5 innings in his last outing. Really seems to be figuring things out, and you're getting him at plus money for over 6.5 strikeouts. I feel like this may be the last time we're seeing a strikeout total for deGrom this low, especially if he keeps up what we saw in his last outing. Also in that game, Texas and Houston, under 7 total runs. It's deGrom and Hunter Brown. It's one of the best pitching matchups we've seen so far this year, and I do think they are going to keep it a low-scoring game, 2-1, 3-2, something like that. Also at plus money. And then Kevin Gausman, over 5.5 strikeouts. He's had a little bit of an up-and-down season, but overall it's been pretty solid. Against Tampa, I know this one's a little bit juiced. The other 2 are plus money. This one is the more favorited bet, but over 5.5 strikeouts feels very doable for Mr. Kevin Gausman against Tampa.
I like those K props. I'm going to go with Sagano. Sagano over. I think this is an early one, over 3.5 strikeouts. He has hit this in both of his last 2 starts. I think 3 of his last 4, he has at least had 4 strikeouts. Going up against the Twins, they are middle of the pack as far as strikeouts go. It's a very obtainable number. We did this with Jose Soriano the other day. Anytime a guy sits in that 5K market and they are right around 4, I'm going to probably jump on it. Houston, first 5 money line, my friends. I'm taking that at plus 110. You did mention Jacob deGrom, but Hunter Brown is on the other side. It's heavy plus money for Hunter Brown, who's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Also, the Rangers offense has just been kind of muted. You've got no Corey Seager. You just got things that are jacked up. So I really like the idea, especially getting plus money odds that the Houston Astros can put a run up. And if we don't, and this game is just ridiculous and it's tied up, we're pushing here. So Houston first 5 money line is one of my favorite this week. And then Tyler Soderstrom over 1.5 total bases. That is a plus money play. They're going up against Matt Sauer, former Royal and I think Yankee as well. I love Soderstrom, extra base hits last night. It's a great ballpark as far as right-handed hitters go. So I'm going to go with Soderstrom on the total bases over. Those are the best bets, and you guys can make some of those bets over on FanDuel, where you guys can deposit $5. You can get extra back, fantasypros.com/leading off, where you bet $5, and then you can win $250. Your first bet hits, so go and check it out today and use our offer. Let's hit the home run board, and then we will just a couple extra questions. Whenever I host the show, we go later. I apologize. I know you guys don't really care. The home run board, Wonky Penguin is on a tear. Look out, because Kelly's coming for you. Kelly is at 5 overall with 16 homers, so not too shabby. Marty at the top with 19, George with 19, Far Out with 18, Razor at 17, and then Wonky's got that 5 spot. I'm still on the left side of the board at 8 with 15. No Joe Pisapia yet, but he's got Aaron Judge yesterday and today, so he might be coming. So make sure those guys at the bottom of the board, make sure you're doing your job and keeping Joe off this. If you win, you could win that Sammy Sosa autographed jersey. That's going to go to the winner of this contest, which you can be in our Discord to get access, or if you are a subscriber on Twitch, that also gives you access if you want to do it. Who are you going with your home run call today, Mr. Joe Rico?
I really need some help because I was out of commission for a while and I didn't make my pick. So I need to catch up. I'm going with Mookie Betts, who's actually been really good this season. I know that there was a lot of talk before the year about how he's lost 150 pounds and he's got all this stuff going on. He's been really good. And I think against Beto tonight, he can take one out. So I'm going Mookie Betts. I think it was plus 550, plus 500, plus 550.
Really? That's a great freaking number, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tyler Soderstrom. I'm going to jump in with that. He's actually plus 440 right now. Again, right-handed hitters in that ballpark. I was tempted on Brent Rooker, but Tyler Soderstrom is on a thing right now. He's getting it back, extra base hits, homers. So we're going to go with the total bases and the homers here. Bing, bang, and boom. People in here talking about finding the home run board. Everything lives on our Discord. So if you guys want, fantasypros.com/chat, take you over to the Discord. There's tons of free elements of the Discord. There's some premium stuff as well. Home run board is premium, but if you have the sub here, you'll have access to it as well. fantasypros.com/chat. Look at Joe. He's like, look at the Discord here. Hey, yo. It's perfect. So go and check that out today. A couple last quick questions, because we had a multitude of people that were using bits. Again, it is semi like a feature of super chats on YouTube where you guys can, I don't know why they call them bits, but there's lots of different stuff you can do. I am going to just say them, or producer Callie, if you're able to bring them up, great, because they're not highlighted on our platform we use to stream, but I can see it on Twitch. So a couple of the people that used some of these bits, I want to make sure to get to their question. One was game over. Ohtani and Buxton for Julio, Riley, Naylor, and Skubal, 10-team roto. Wow. So they get Skubal, Julio, Riley, Naylor. You trade away essentially Ohtani. Who even cares about Buxton? You doing that move?
Sorry, I need to hear that one more time. That was a lot of... Okay, Ohtani and Buxton for Julio, Austin Riley, Naylor, and Skubal. That is a haul.
10-team, you want the best players, but holy crap, you have to imagine Julio, Riley, Naylor, and Skubal are all taking over 100% like lower assets.
I think I would do it. As much as I would hate to trade Ohtani, I think I would do that. That's enough for me.
I think I might too. AVM said, hey, well, speaking of barrel rate, Adolis Garcia's barrel rate is 15.7, but batting 229. Is he a hold in the hopes of a good season, or is this the version of Adolis we will see rest of season? I think his barrel is not 100% correlative, of course, to like batting average. You're looking for the pieces to come together. You're looking for barrel rate to go with hard hit. You're looking for lower strikeouts. His strikeouts are a problem. I think Adolis is a 240 hitter. I've always kind of thought that. So I think there's I think a lot of these Rangers are still going to bounce back, but I can only say that for so long. I think he might be someone to potentially go pick up right now. Lucius, I sent an offer of Dominguez and Schwellenbach for Langford. Do you think that's a good deal on my end if accepted?
Dominguez and Schwellenbach for Langford. Yeah. I would do that. I think Schwellenbach is going to be okay. I think, he's had a little bit of a rough go, but the numbers are still solid. He's just not striking guys out, which is kind of weird. But I think that is a worthy trade for Langford.
I think so too. I think that would potentially work. And by the way, someone let us know that Josh Lowe was just activated. So bam, activated. He's there. Extra long show because I'm hosting, because that's how it always goes. We got lots to say and we want to hang with you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this entirety of this show. It's a weird baseball day as well. You guys got more questions. You know where to find us. Make sure you're back here tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern on the Twitch. If you guys on the YouTube or listening here, come and hang out with us live, get your question answered. Friday, back into the week is usually a pretty good time where we're trying to get to as many questions as possible. Shout out to the MVP of the episode, Van Rod, the gifted subs, doing the bits. That is supporting the channel. Van Rod walks away as MVP of today's episode. But we also do love our Joe Rico. Van Rod, our third co-host, of course. Joe Rico on Twitter at Joe Rico99. You can follow me at Is It The Welsh. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and we will talk to you on the next episode of Leading Off. Peace out, goodbye, and we love you.
Always fun getting to do Leading Off. I'm going to miss it.
So long. Farewell. You'll be, you know what? I'll take some time off. People are probably sick of me. You can come in. The Joe and Joe Show.
2 Joes, 1 show.
Yeah.